Now, I am fully aware that a game that you like this year might be on my list, and to your comments I say, fire away. Kingdom Hearts 3. Everyone has been waiting for this since 2005, once Kingdom Hearts 2 came to a close. We expected some grand dramatic finish, but what we got was kind of just a big old Disney commercial. Now, I know I'm not in the minority when I speak about this. The dialogue and the story in this game was just super awkward. It's been almost 15 years since your major flagship release of Kingdom Hearts 2, and really no one remembers your story. And even if they did, they needed a master's degree to understand it. And because of that, we got some awkward moments in the story. You had your characters telling you things that you do not even remember from the previous games.
But if we still remember him, then he must still be with us.
It's kind of like your friend tells you a story about you being there, and you have no idea what they're talking about, and you're just kind of sitting there like, okay, yeah, are you sure that was me? And then the characters we love from the last game just turned into annoying NPCs. You had Donald and Goofy constantly telling you this was a good spot to find ingredients. It drives you mad.
This might be a good spot. This might be a good...
I bet we'll find some ingredients around.
This might be a good spot.
And because this game sat in development hell for so long, it started to show the age of the combat system. Fighting the bosses was awesome, and it really felt like you're supposed to fight that boss in that world. But the other stuff, when you're fighting the Heartless and the other monsters, and the combat just felt so dated. And eventually it leads up to the game's ending. It wasn't the dramatic finish that I guess everyone wanted or was waiting for. It just, well, it left me feeling disappointed.
Is any of this for real?
Battlefield 5. Now I know what you're thinking. This game did not come out in 2019. However, it has been changed so much and so many updates, I feel the need to talk about it in 2019. The road between October of 2018 till October of 2019 felt arduous and long, and DICE did their best to change this game, listening to player feedback and putting some stupid ideas along the way, but we had finally thought everything was solved with the Pacific update. This seemed to have turned everything around for the game. Players were coming back in droves, they were leaving Call of Duty, they were returning to a game that they loved, and then out of nowhere, DICE decided to change the total time to kill to paintball. Players are now leaving in droves. They don't want to play this anymore. They're literally boycotting the game, uninstalling it, putting memes of them about to shoot a crab and saying, DICE, change it or the crab gets it, which is really funny, but it's just so sad because there's so much other competition out there, and the players of Battlefield that love the franchise so much are just staring at it looking like, where's our game? We've been through this before. We have told you time and time again what we want, and you are still not delivering it. They set up so much to be disappointed towards. Everyone was looking forward to the Pacific campaign, and they got it, but then DICE decided to take a monster pile of crap on this and change everything. And with their new map rear in the corner, I guarantee you a lot of players are going to boycott this. Anthem. What a steaming pile of crap. This is another game from EA, so I guess we should have known, and it's a brand new IP. A ton of people were excited for this. They saw so many E3 trailers. They wanted to play as their Iron Man robot boys, and everyone was super excited to do it. And then on launch day, everyone had a sad realization. First off, the game was riddled with glitches. Everything from gameplay to not getting loot to disconnecting to black screens. It was so bad that it was bricking some people's consoles. There were stories where people were just calling PlayStation and they were giving refunds without question. The game promised an awesome open world with amazing graphics, but when we got our hands on it, it was a super toned down version of what they were offering. You see, the flying around felt cool, but it didn't seem like it was part of the game. Whenever you needed to fly around, you had to land, so the game felt all over the place. It had no direction. And the random loot that would spawn from killing an enemy was, you can't even say seamless. It was just a glowing orb, and when you picked it up, it meant nothing to you. You see, those glitches I was talking about, a lot of players found out that the original battle rifle you start off with was the best gun in the game. And that wasn't supposed to be, but it made all the other loot just complete nonsense. And playing as the other classes too, they just didn't feel different enough. You felt like you were playing the same thing over and over again. The AI was terrible, the guns were awful, the gameplay wasn't there, the game was crashing left and right, and you had the devs staying silent for so long. They eventually tried to fix it, but their incompetence seemed to have known no bounds. With every patch they introduced, the game got worse and worse. It just became a running joke to see how bad it was going to get. They tried to compete with Destiny, and they failed, so better luck next time. Next Gen Sandbox Simulator. Now, probably no one else has heard of this other than me, but this is my list, so I'm going to be disappointed for you. When I saw the trailer of this game, I was super excited because it just seemed like you can create your own mayhem in a sandbox. They give you all the tools to do it, so it just kind of seemed like Far Cry on crack, and I was ready to get started. But when I booted this game up, my smile went to frown so quickly because I could tell from the menu screen that this game was going to be a disaster. You see, I knew this game wasn't going to be AAA or even AA, but it just kind of looks like a student project. The menus were terrible, the load screens were long, and once you got inside the game, the graphics were insanely bad. It looks like they just imported Unity assets left and right, and they added a couple of collisions where they wanted to, and you could break a fence here and there, but everything you saw in the trailer was just a mild concept. They just kind of threw the game out there. They wanted to get some random money to recoup their losses. I don't know if this was a tech demo, but the game just ran like trash. There was no AI in it. You couldn't set a mission. You couldn't put anything anywhere. It just seemed like a toy box that you flipped over and you didn't know what type of toy to grab next. I was expecting a game that I can create my own nonsense chaos in and just have fun, but I assure you there was no fun to be had here. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Let's get a little bit controversial here. Now, I know I can feel the flame already, but understand where I'm coming from. Let me explain myself. You see, I've been a really big Smash player ever since the 64. I've played everything in between, and I can promise you right now, I am nowhere near at a competitive level. I didn't start getting good at Smash till I want to say Smash 4. You see, playing Smash 4, everything just felt right. When I would play against my friends or my foes, everything just felt so epic. The people I versed that were good at the game, everything felt so cool. It felt like a Dragon Ball Z battle over and over again. So when Ultimate was coming around the corner, I remember looking at my friend and thinking, I am so excited to play the new one, I don't even want to play 4 anymore. So then Ultimate finally came out. I got my mains, I started playing, but the game just felt so different. They changed everything, from air dodging, to latency, to shields. Nothing that you had mastered in the previous games worked here. The movement of the game just kind of felt wet. That's the best way I can describe it. You know, you can air dodge and fall off the cliff. Your moves just had too much lag in between. And the game just creates a nonsense meta where you just kind of jump around and do neutral attacks. It just feels like you're playing ping pong now. Every match just ends up feeling the same thing. And when you're playing at higher levels, and I know I said I'm not really a competitive or a super amazing person at this game, but I got good at Smash, and when I played at the higher levels, I just wanted to take my GameCube controller and wrap it around someone's throat and strangle them to death for how they were playing. And that's not how I want to enjoy Smash. So to me, it was a crippling disappointment. I know we got some really cool characters this time, but the game just feels like Brawl. You know, Brawl, you're just tripping left and right. That's how this one feels to me. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Don't light me on fire too much, but I say Smash Ultimate, disappointment. World War Z. I know, another zombie game that's bad. What a surprise. But this one kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't really expect a random movie tie-in game to come out years after the film, so I was a tad bit excited for it. I really do like zombie games, and to find out I could play this one with my friends and they're gonna be climbing all over buildings and I could shoot them with everything I got, I was sold right from the get-go. And the game I think was only $29, so why not? But then I started playing it, and oh man, it's not fun. It just isn't fun. The levels are just set up so poorly. They give you like random pistols and stuff, which are no point in firing. You get a couple other guns and pickups from the ground, but the zombies just run at you. I guess it was whatever I was expecting, but since the levels are set up so poorly, it just feels like one of those Taco Bell games you used to get. And if I'm aging myself, I know they added some DLC to it to increase the levels themselves, but just from the ground up, I guess now a zombie game that runs kind of linear that isn't Resident Evil just has no place in this gaming world.
Crackdown 3!
Crackdown 3. Man, was I excited for Crackdown 3. See, I'm a big blow up everything guy, so when I found out that they are going to give us a city to run rampant in and blow up buildings, I couldn't have been more excited. I talked to my friend almost every single week and we would just have a joke of, hey, maybe Crackdown 3 would come out. And when I finally found out that it was going to hit store shelves, I could not contain myself. And wouldn't you know, I was incredibly disappointed. You see, the game just turned into a glorified collectathon and the shooting was just so below par. It just was an auto-locking shooting gallery. I wanted to jump through buildings and blow things up, and I remember in the trailers, and I guess I want to say the commercials, it said that the game was gonna remember the buildings you blew up and kind of keep them like that, similar to Red Faction. And that's really what I was hoping for, but it just wasn't so. It just seemed like this game suffered from poor direction. You see, they would have done better to just take a note from Red Faction and put a multiplayer with a police skin on it and just kind of take it from there and use your cloud saving data to blow up buildings together. But in the end, they just had no hindsight. So, bad game. Just Cause 4. Now, right after talking about Crackdown, I knew I was going to have to bring up the Just Cause series. And everything prior, Just Cause 1 through 3, are amazing games in their own right, with the penultimate being Just Cause 3. The DLC in that and the standalone gameplay were fantastic. Plus, getting everything from the DLC to work into your original game just felt so fun. Lifting people up with your gravity machine and your grappling hooks and your jetpacks, 10 out of 10. But then Just Cause 4 decided to be like, oh, what if we made a worse version of Just Cause 3? They decided to go with the weather route effects, which I guess is cool, flying through a tornado once, but toning down the graphics and gameplay and the staple of the series is not a good idea. You see, they wanted you to attach mods to your grappling hook, which would have been fun, but they decided to take away other aspects of the grappling hook that made it an amazing experience from Just Cause 3. No longer can you just tether someone to something, you had to unlock a skill to do that, and you're just trying to strip it bare bones. Plus, the graphics were in the wrong direction. They decided to use weather effects instead of graphics, and it just looked terrible. And the shooting was bad as well too. And just like Crackdown 3, they decided to say that this destruction was nothing like you've ever seen before. More destruction than Just Cause 3. So I was super excited. I thought, man, Red Faction Guerrilla, just an even better version of it. I want to blow up some buildings and do whatever I want. But it wasn't that. Once again, I'm blowing up red and white towers, and I don't want you to tell me what to blow up. I want to blow up my own things. So if you're going to make another Just Cause thing, listen to what I'm saying. I want to blow up whatever I want. No more red and white stuff. Make it happen. Rage 2. I feel like Rage 2, they wanted to get this game out before Borderlands 3 hit the shelves because they knew that there was some part of their formula that Borderlands was going to do better. See, this game was all about anarchy, and you see it in the world around you. The maniacs from Borderlands were kind of the same maniacs or bandits that were going to be in Rage 2, so there was a lot of parallels here, and they wanted to get ahead of it before Borderlands came out. Rage 2 seemed like it was going to be a fusion between the Borderlands franchise and the Far Cry franchise, but it really just fell flat on its face. You see, this is another game that's suffering from poor direction. It's an open world game that wants to be linear, and you can tell by the missions it's putting you in. You're constantly just going to random parts of the map with no cohesion involved, and after you've beaten it, you realize that you've discovered nothing of the map. And that puts another problem here, is there aren't really any side quests, no quest givers in this one, so it's just a barren world. There's no point for you to explore, there's no experience to get. And then when it comes down to the combat, they wanted you to get these weird power-ups and grapples and levitation things, and when you start using it, you immediately begin to notice that it's very ineffective. You see, the rifle that they give you was just the best thing there was, and using the powers, it's just gonna get you killed. It's kind of flashy, but it will get you killed. So you discover that just hiding behind your car you're driving around, or hiding behind a pillar and just returning fire and beating the outpost that way is the best way to do it. And the ironic part about this game is that it has a theme of anarchy, and you play as a ranger in the last military hurrah trying to recreate order, but the game wants you to embrace anarchy and kill whomever you want to become a super badass. But where's your theme there? Then why am I playing as a militant ranger that wants to restore order? Just, come on, man. Get your facts straight. Generation Zero. Now, this is a strange game. It's more of a AA game. I don't know if you've heard of it, but basically, I think you play in like Sweden or Denmark, one of those countries, and robots took over when you were on vacation. You play as teenagers in an open world, and you're trying to figure out what has happened to the town. So you and some of your friends, you can get online, go collect some loot, and try and solve what happens as robots come to attack you. See, this game was supposed to talk about how the robots adapted to what you, the player, were doing, and if you shot them and ran away, that one specific robot's gonna have a scar, and he's always gonna hunt you and remember what you did. And that just turned out to be a pile of lying garbage. You see, after you've collected some loot and shot some of the robots, you realize there's no way that these robots are gonna escape. You're just gonna blow them all up in the same way over and over again. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of moments where I was having fun, but I was having fun with my friends, and I can have fun with my friends doing whatever I want. So the excuses, well, it's more fun with your friends, is a really bad one, because I can have some good fun going bowling with my friends. So if I'm gonna shell out money for this game and it's more fun with my friends, you better make sure it's just as much fun as playing your game single player.
Soulcalibur 6.
Soulcalibur 6. Now, I like Soulcalibur. I like the whole franchise. But this one just felt so lacking. They decided to give us a really cool creator character mode, and you could make anything from a Ninja Turtle to Donkey Kong, but it had very few characters in it, so you just made the same fighter over and over again. Plus, the combat itself gave too many crutches to stand on. Fighting players online or fighting the AI, the wonkiness pops up constantly. So you get your soul edge meter and you can do soul reversals and soul everything, but you could be in a move where you're comboing the crap out of someone, you're like, it's time to win, and they just tap one of the side buttons, it freezes your character and they do their move which trumps yours, which doesn't make sense in any fighting game whatsoever. I was excited to just make more characters. I wanted to be like, yeah, let me use whatever style, but they decided to remove characters from their original titles and not add them in this new one. But you know what they did decide to do? Make you pay for them. The characters were coming out left and right, I guess, but you're paying constantly for more characters when there isn't enough on disc. And they've done the worst sin of all that I always find in fighting games. They did a Season 2 paid DLC. I don't understand. If I gave you a season pass for the money, don't just be like, oh cool, here's a new season. I hate that, man. It's a colloquialism because you said the word season. I get it. You tricked me, but it definitely means for the season is until your next game comes out. So after 6 months, you decide it's a new season, it's time to release more DLC they have to pay for. That sucks. So I don't know. I hope you go out of business now. Now, I've also done a review on this game as well too, so I'll make this one short and quick. This game is extremely boring. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a UPS or FedEx driver when it's raining, acid rain, then this game is for you. The story is strange, the gameplay is not fun, it's a walking simulator, and the combat is well to be desired. If you're out there having fun with Death Stranding, maybe you already work for UPS and it's some type of hidden thing for you, but the game just isn't fun. So if you want more on that, check out my other review on Death Stranding as well.
This is the fear and despair that Aqua feels.
And that's it. Those were some of the most disappointing games for me personally from 2019. Now, I know that there are a ton more out there, and I know you guys are gonna let me have it, but I wanna hear from you. Let me know what you guys think about my list, and please tell me some games that I missed. I'm sure I have. Other than that, I'm Rob from DLC. like, share, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next video.